But we do have more information here on Lavos on this computer. An extraterrestrial life form that is thought to have fallen from the heavens 65 million years ago. On the timeline that existed before history was changed, Lavos was assumed to have slept deep below the planet's surface, sleeping and consuming the planet's energy up until the day of destruction known as the Apocalypse. There are those who believe that 12,000 years ago, the legendary ancient magical civilization known as Zeal came into contact with Lavos. That did happen. That fateful encounter is said to have resulted in Zeal disappearing from the surface of the planet within the space of a single night. Also, it wasn't 12,000 years ago, it was 12,000 BC, so it was 14,300 years ago, 14,400 years ago to you guys. Anyway, I digress. However, the very existence of the ancient civilization of Zeal has never been proven, so up till this day, this theory cannot be confirmed. Oh, I can confirm it. It's probably better that I don't, but I can confirm that Zeal did exist. There was a character from there. A couple characters, important characters, I'd say, from there. On some timelines, Lavos appeared on the surface of the planet in the year 1999 even, and brought the world to ruins. However, a group of young time travelers saw where their planet's history was heading and, through their actions, rewrote time. They're not going to say when I did that, though, are they? Because I could have chosen, right? They're not going to say when it was. This very research facility exists on that new timeline, in a world where, thanks to the defeat of Lavos by the young adventurers, the apocalypse never happened. On a temporal vector where human civilization continued to evolve unhampered. All the data on Lavos that was obtained from tracing different parallel world possibilities has proven to be volatile, with fluctuating discrepancies. That's not how you spell discrepancies. Perhaps at this point in time, it is nearly impossible to obtain any true information about Lavos. That is entirely true. All right, humans and reptites. Ooh, we're going to talk about some reptites. I've always assumed that the Dragonians that they're talking about in this game are the reptites, but maybe this will confirm it. 65 million years ago, the reptites who evolved from reptiles had developed their own unique civilization. This was long before the ancestors of humans who evolved from primates had developed their civilization. Well, they were around at the same time, but the reptites definitely came first. Excavations carried out on the central continent of Xenon have revealed that the reptites already had advanced architectural skills in the prehistoric era. That they did. But the fall of Lavos to the planet and the resulting ice age this brought about rang the death knell for the reptites and their civilization. After that, the reptites slowly disappeared from the stage of history. However, in the distant past, humans could have been defeated in the contest of evolution, and the reptites could have continued to develop. It is not unthinkable that such a timeline could exist in other dimensions. Yeah, if it wasn't for our actions, the reptiles probably still would have been the best civilization. That's the way that I looked at it in Chrono Trigger, but they always... Well, the implication here is that it was Lavos that stopped that, and not the time travelers. Everything is purely a problem of possibilities, and the world is only stabilized by the viewpoint of the one who observes it. That is true. Alright, we have stuff about DNA here, the seeds of life. The human body is made up of 50 to 60 billion cells. Each of these cells contains genes in the form of DNA. These are the fundamental building blocks that exist inside the cell's chromosomes. They store genetic information that can be passed on from parent to child. The structure of DNA is common throughout all life, throughout all universes. Up until that last little clause, this was just a basic biology lesson. Through DNA recombination, life forms take on differing forms with variable abilities. I guess you could say that was good enough for a biology test, but there's quite a bit of stuff in there. Let's go through the ghost and head up here. where we can find a treasure chest with a rainbow shell. Hooray! A rainbow shell. We will eventually use those. I'm probably gonna just pass on those until bonus videos, when it becomes a lot easier for me to deal with them instead of doing any kind of grinding. All right, back here. Let's head up to the 4th floor. Yes. We're ready to go to the 4th floor now. All right, everybody into the elevator. We got a little bit of a ride ahead of us, which apparently is, once again, fine with Fargo. He has no questions about all of this. All right, do I want to kill these guys? Yeah, let me go ahead and kill all 3 of these guys off screen. They're a little bit of a hassle. All 3 of them have been taken out. Let's see what awaits us in the northwestern side here. Just a couple ghosts. Only personnel registered as Arbiter may enter. The experiment will begin soon. Please evacuate to your designated positions. We will do the same in case of an emergency. Apparently not, because you guys are still there. So I don't think you moved too far in case of what I assume wasn't an emergency. All right, let's head to the northeast then. Everyone gather around. Let's see. In the 11th century, a scientist by the name of Luca indicated the possibility of time travel through the use of a time egg, which utilizes miniature black holes. Whether this could actually be possible or not is still the subject of intense debate, and no conclusions have been made. I would suggest always trusting Luca, but maybe that's just me. Yes, that is indeed how space-time and black holes are usually represented. According to her theory, by rotating a single point of supergravity, space-time continua can be drawn in, thus making it possible to transform that singular point which pulls in everything else into a ring formation. Using this ring as a gate between dimensions, it should be possible to travel back and forth between various space-time. I've heard that the time egg already existed during the legendary ancient dynasty. We shouldn't have to rely on theories from an ancient civilization that may not have even existed. We can do this. But it's been said that time was altered using the time egg. That's just a legend. There isn't any evidence to prove that this ancient dynasty ever existed. The experiment should be starting soon. After we discovered an unusual gravitational field in this barren sea of El Nido, we built several artificial islands and established Chronopolis. This was all done to facilitate our top-secret research, but now our research is about to come to an end. Or to its end. Once the final adjustments are made, the experiment will commence. It's just a matter of time, so everyone should keep up their good work. The chief hasn't returned yet. He hasn't? Then we'll have to hold off until he gets back. To think that time is not absolute, but elastic, relative, and subjective. That there can be individual differences caused by changes in time. Perhaps the same people and life forms can even exist in several different space-times. An independent time that flows with a will of its own? Ha, what nonsense. Yes, clearly it's all nonsense. But I will say that we already know that time is elastic, thanks to Einstein and all his work and all of the work that supports Einstein, which there is a ton of. Ooh, fancy. So the idea here is that the black hole is at the bottom, and it's what's pulling the space-time continuum, which is up here, down, what I'm going to say is the z-axis, if we're looking at it kind of like a Cartesian plane, x and y being that plane that is with that green grid. Z, straight down, would be gravity. That's how it's typically depicted. All right, let's head over here. As you can see, there is a path. Are they going to let me through there? They should. All right, since they're not right now, let's talk to people. The lost ancient magic civilization of Zeal. If it really did exist, someone may have even traveled through time to this period. Indeed, that was the plan until you guys figured that you didn't have enough time dedicated to him and changed it back to Guile. We may appear to be a military research center, but we're actually conducting research on time. That is indeed relatively important. Doesn't seem like the computers have anything to say around here. This research center was established under the utmost secrecy by the central regime. We're conducting a simulation of phase metastasis. I think it's metastasis. Could be metastasis. Metastasis? Could be. All right, let's take on this guy for free denaturite. I think it is metastasis. All right, so they only dropped 1 denaturite. Now I can go through. I just wasn't angled the right way. Let's head down here where we can kill 2 more enemies for more denaturite. Let me take care of that. Get back here. Give me your denaturite. That puts me up to 44 denaturite total. I still want more, to be honest with you, but I'll accept that for the time being. How you doing? The chief said he was going out for a walk. He's probably by the docks somewhere, gazing out to sea. And here we can find a magnify, which once again could be useful, especially paired with the Vigora, so you, Vigora, however I'm supposed to say it. If you pair that, increase your damage done by the elements, then give out a lot of elements through the Vigora, Damn it, get through the door! And then just start spamming. It could be very powerful. All right, so that is what we wanted to do. We now need to go where we were before. Let's head down to the first floor. I believe we've been everywhere. Actually, let's try the basement. Please present the Central Lab Zone registration card. All right, let's go to the first floor. And we've been to the second floor, then the third floor, now the fourth floor. So we have gone to all of them. Let's just head back to the first floor. You might have remembered now who the chief is. He is the one that was hanging out down here by the Record of Fate that I would now like to use. So we're going to deal with the Record of Fate here, then we'll go talk to the chief and see if we can't get that experiment started, but we will take care of that next time. That is going to do it for these parts of Let's Play Chrono Cross. I've been Baller Scuba. I've been joined, as always, by my very, very powerful crew of Surge, Fargo, and Grobic. When we come back, talk to the chief, I'll probably have made a bit more denaturite equipment for people that I like, probably. Hope you guys have enjoyed these parts. Hope you laughed. Hope you learned. Hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.